I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know the game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Good morning. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am your host, my name is Man. Today, when we'll be covering a lot of sporting activities, the World Athletic Championships, it's going on, and it is happening over there in Budapest, Hungary, and we have, maybe we could have a couple of medals today over there. In Hungary, we expect 100 medals in the hurdles, though we had some unfortunate, events. Rashid Broadbell, who many of us expected to have medaled, he unfortunately fell somewhere at the 6th hurdle, and that affected things. And so, that has set us back a little bit in terms of our medal count, but we have hands of parchment. But as usual, before we get into all of that, I want to welcome you to I Am Sure Sports. Like I said earlier, I am your host, my name is Man, and we always want to take a couple of seconds to just give thanks for life. You understand me? We have breath in our lungs, and so because of that, we are forever grateful. We have breath in our lungs. You're alive, I'm alive, and that is why we are here today. And as usual, we continue to look to the hills, from whence cometh our help. Our help comes from the Most High God. He has made the heavens and the earth, and he keeps us. He never ever slumbers. He never ever sleeps. He is the good shepherd who leads us in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And though we walk through the valleys of the shadow of death, we need not fear no evil, for he is with us. Believe in you, believe in God. You're not too old to maximize your potential. And I learned this in my teenage years from the late Dr. Miles Monroe. He said we should die empty. And what that brings about is the whole idea of ensuring that on that day when you pass away, that everything about you, every potential, everything you have used it up. You have no ideas left. You understand me? But you have used up everything. You have given your all. to your life. You have become the best version of you. And so I challenge every one of you to do that today, to be the best version of you. You can change. You can be better. You can add value to people's life. You are worth something. You're valuable and you're precious. You understand me? No matter where you're born, no matter you may not have a degree, you may not have anything like that, but you have life. And if you have life and you have hopes and dreams and purposes and plans, then it is amazing with God's help what you will be able to do. Welcome, Siobhan Peart, been a while. Daphne Jackson, blessings as well. Kevin Williams, big up. Claudia Fletcher, always good to have. At least the names appear to be females, but sometimes, spouses will use their wives' account, which is a good thing, I believe. Bounce TV, blessings. Midnight Cowboy, always around. Blessings to you as well. As usual, we ask you to do three things. We don't run a channel where we stop and tell people to do this and do that all the while. What we ask you to do is, from the beginning, hit the like button, subscribe, and share, right? So that's what I do. When I come on the channel, I go in my inbox and I find 3 persons and I send them the show. And sometimes they subscribe, sometimes they don't, right? But at least share it, see if we can get some more subscribers. I have, many of the former players. I think I have good relations with the former players of the Reggae Boyz, and many of them, Paul Teagat Davis, he sends out devotions. So if you know him, you'll probably get a devotion from him almost every day. Warren Barrett is the next one. And Gregory Messam, so many of them, Michael Tolo, they always send in stuff, as we communicate. But this one today is from former captain, goalkeeper Warren Barrett. He says, silence will always speak what needs to be said. Don't allow Satan to trick you into saying more than you need to say. And so that is his word for today. He always give a word for today. All right. You said, Jason, that is catfishing when someone is using their spouse's account. Maybe they are not as versed in setting it up, so they allow their spouse to do that so they can. I don't know. It's just a suggestion. But listen, give me your prediction for the events today. Will Shelly and Fraser Price win the 100 meters? Will it be Sharika Jackson? Could there be an upset with Talu? Could it be the young Julian Alfred? Could it be Shakari Richardson? What do you think? What about the hurdles for men? What are your thoughts? Let me know. Big up Demo. Liverpool having won over the weekend. Didn't look so solid defensively, but they got the result, which really, really matters. Now, many of you would have heard by now what is going on with Mr. Mason Greenwood. And I in every adversity there's an opportunity, right? Yeah. I'm going to give you the high points of Greenwood. I think, like in every adversity, there is an opportunity. And I must say, I don't know, and maybe I don't know how many persons are going to agree with me today, all right? But I think it is necessary that before we get, I see some of the results, and please give me who you think will win. I see Daphne saying Shelly, but this will be a race. Shock looks good. I want to see if Shock will make it from her semifinals, because she's in a very sticky semifinals. So we need to see that first. This is pressure moment, big races, and anything can happen. So let's see. But as it relates to Mason Greenwood, I think in adversity there is opportunity. While the initial happenings, I do not agree. I do not agree with any sort of abuse, whether verbal, financial, physical, emotional, whether it be male against a female, female against a male, I don't agree with it. Whether it be a parent against a child, I don't agree with it. But while I don't agree with it, I understand that people are human and all of us at different times do things that are not in the best interest of others and not in the best interest of ourselves. And once we have, apologize and make amends, we need to be forgiven and given an opportunity. No, Mason is a young man and he has made his mistakes. I don't think he should be thrown aside. I don't think he should be ostracized. I think because he has made amends, and what has happened is that this relationship has come back together, right, with him and the female. So I believe, given that, then, he should be given an opportunity to use his talent to earn, because his inability to earn could the punishment being meted out to him could turn around and hurt him and hurt the very female who people believe that he hurt. So the system should not punish people to the extent that it removes them and removes their earning from helping people. That's number one. All right. Now, I understand the outcry of female. And here is what I want to propose and want to ask. If this were the other way around, where a female emotionally abuses a male, or physically or verbally, because they're female who speak down to men, or you're this, you're that. What if a man should go to court and report that person for abuse? Would the same measure of the law be extended in terms of punishment to the female? What I find in our modern culture and context is that there is an while there may be more abuse from the male side, I believe we overlook what women do, and men tend to get a greater degree of punishment than women when they commit the same acts. I want you to hear me. All right. So again, we also heard that Leon Bailey, there's an investigation that I think really is much ado about nothing. I know Leon Bailey. And let me tell you something. If there's one thing that he likes to do, is to take pictures with fans. So I, for 1 minute, do not believe that Leon Bailey would push a child away. I don't believe it. When you see how he operates around his own kid, Leo, how he deals with other kids, how he willing to take pictures with strangers, with people from other teams, I cannot see him doing what the reports are saying. I think this is just, for whatever reason, an attack. Again, once a female makes a report, then the general consensus of society is that the man is guilty. So if a female come and say, you know what, he touched me inappropriately, immediately guilt is on the male. If a woman say, you know that he shouted at me, immediately the man is guilty. If a man says, you know that the lady was forcing her kid on me and I was afraid, he's laughed at. He said, how can you be afraid? So there is a reverse in how we view things when they come from the male as it relates to female. Nicardo says, Nicardo, you sure? So, preacher, welcome, you know. Welcome, Sir Hilton. Sir Hilton, tell me if you can join, you know, right? So, I want you to listen to me carefully. Now, I'm making no excuses for anyone. But if I don't make excuses from the male gender, then I cannot make excuses for the female gender. So if I go to a reggae girls match and the reggae girl decide not to take a picture with me and said something, move from here, so I don't take no picture with you, or go on about your business, or I'm not, and I report that, what would be the consequence? But I am sure that if Mikel Antonio were at the National Stadium and a teenage girl goes up to him and says, can I take a picture? And he said, no, I'm not taking a picture with you. It will be a big story. So my question, and maybe some of the females can answer, why is it when females do similar things to male, they are not treated the way that males are treated? All right. So that's number one. I think I've answered the Bailey thing. I think it's much ado about anything, because I know Leon Bailey, and I can tell you, it is much ado. Somebody trying again to put something out there that is not. Listen, man, people don't know. I was so happy. I'm probably going to lose our subscriber because I'm going to be honest. Listen, England is one of those places. Again, I always say this, and because of how we are as a nation and what they have done, I was glad that they never won yesterday. I am telling you. Not that I really wanted Spain to win. If both of them could lose, that would make my day. But one had to win. One had to win. Yeah, Bailey would not have done anything like that, right? So that's one thing. So what does this mean? All right, so Manchester United under pressure. It would be good to hear from Manchester United if it is the female players on their team. Because listen, you see, when you are making decisions about people's moral conduct, you must make sure that your moral conduct is up as well. Make sure. All right, that's number one. Number two, is it commercial revenues that Manchester United were doing? Because they could have made this decision. Because remember, they're not making this decision because they believe he did anything wrong. They're doing it because of the pressure of fans. All right, so fine, they want to do. I have one of my very I have one of my highly educated subscribers. All right, he says you're going down a slippery slope in comparison of men and female abuse. Let me say it again. Let me say what I'm saying. While I agree the cases of men abusing women are way, way more, I have, let me say it, probably in one case in my life, I have seen where a man mentioned abuse by a woman that he has been taken seriously. And here's what, the woman in that case was not treated. She was basically said, don't do it again. Men who do the same thing are given time in prison. That is my case. It is real. I am telling you, even in our, listen, many Jamaicans who end up marrying for whatever reason to people who live in other countries, maybe they're married to get citizenship and all of that, they go through severe abuse. But because it is branded that they went there to get citizenship, it is not taken seriously. That is what I'm saying. There's no justification for what was originally reported about Mason Greenwood. My question is, if a woman did the same thing to a man, would she be treated the same way? Or must we accept that women can abuse kids, they can abuse men, and it must be treated like when men abuse women or kids? when a woman who is 40-year-old come to Jamaica and have sexual intercourse with a 17-year-old Jamaican boy, should she be arrested? Because if it were a 40-year-old man doing the same thing to a 17-year-old girl, he would be arrested. That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking. All I am saying is that I am all for gender equality. I am for gender equality. Women must be paid. If they are doing the same job that men do, they must be paid the same salary. I agree. And if they do the same crime that men do, they must spend the same time as men do. Equality. I'd love to hear from a female what they think. Yeah, you said that. I like this one. I think we know the answer to your question, man. Is the current system is fairer towards women in the name of gender equality. We have a caller calling in. So let's see if we can take this call. Are we up? Hello?
Yes, man.
Yeah. Oh, RDN. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, my bro.
Yeah, man.
What's
going
on? Respect.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Man. The system in this world set up in favor of the women. Even when you look at Mother's Day and Father's Day and stuff like that, just everything, just look at it. So it's not going to be, any other way. I fully agree that maybe 90%, 95% abuse are man towards woman, but right now there's so many men behind bars just looking at a woman, are just bouncing them. And if it was turned the other way, then a woman look at a man certain way, come as nothing. A woman bounce a man, come as nothing. I remember, man, when I was in Jamaica, and me and this lady attack in my young days, me and this lady attack man, and say the lady was behaving me all of my goat, the man, and the woman take my goat and go sell my goat, and all them thing the man, and I go to police station, and the man laugh off my man. Police laugh off of me, you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I ask me how long me and this lady attack, and I tell them. And the man said, sure man, she have right to that, man. Imagine, man, me left me goat them at my yard, Me nice to go ram and she go sell it, And she end up get the rights and stuff like that. So me just walk out of the police station. So I mean, society build a way, man, where people in high authority tends to believe a woman, because enough man they are prison man. Enough man they are prison innocently. But that's it. For me so thing no man. I think they have the youth life in a limbo. The youth. I mean, if them don't want the youth, then they just let go the youth. Me no know. They have, if they let him go, they have to pay him $7 million, £7 million, right? I mean, I'm sure I know the money, because Man U have the money. Man U have the money. So why is it? Is it that the coach want him to go and the owner want him to stay? Is it a case like that?
I don't know, because I get the feeling like it is groups, like groups who say they have labeled him as an abuser. I agree. So I think there are groups that have influence with Manchester who would not allow him to play. Look, somebody just brought up the case of Benjamin Mendy. whose career has basically, I mean, the man was, there were banners lifted up in a stadium where he signed for because of the same reports, allegations against him that were proven not to be so.
Yeah,
But he has been released. You know, Mason Greenwood his contract has been terminated, so he has been released.
He has been released now. Okay. All right. Because let me tell the man, England, I'm glad for that in a sense, because England is a woman country. Let me tell you that. And then take everything. If you look on a lady there, so a certain way or speak certain way, in England you have to be careful what you say to ladies and how you look at them and you even pass against them and stuff like that. Because you end up in big trouble. You understand? So true is this concept. So when you come to a man against a woman, then quick to arrest the man or harass the man or something like that. But me glad say them free him up and he can go in a free agent, he can go now and play football, go somewhere else. Maybe not in England. We can go Italy or maybe in the Saudi league. Go play. You know, to build back him. That a film through my work. That is him job.
Yeah.
The last thing before I go man is man. I went the final round with the woman final.
Oh, I just said it right.
When
here.
the woman final, bro.
Let me give it the time. Hold on, don't move. The final is 9:50, 3:50.
Oh, 3:50. Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry, you can watch Arsenal win against Crystal Palace, and then you can watch a race, man.
But I'm deal with what really happened? I tell you, I might. No. Management, we spend all these money a year time, management, and still we can't. What really? Is it that at the play at who are
you're breaking up bad, Arden.
Okay. Yeah, hear me now? You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking. We spend all these money. Chelsea spend all these money this season. And we still can't get it together. So I wonder if the players are the coach or the system that the coach trying to play.
At Chelsea?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, you know. I think Chelsea is going to take some time to get things going because they have so many new players. This is like a brand new starting 11 for Chelsea, you know. So I think it's going to take some time for them to get together. It may not be this season. You understand me? It's new players coming from different clubs. So I don't think it's going to be this season. But I do believe that at some point they are going to get things back together. But not this season. I think it's too early.
Well, man, may I pray and hope because we become the laughing stock of English Premier League and the puppet. You understand?
Yeah.
When man spends so much money if you get insert the product. I mean, come on. And this, I don't say this happened. It happened last season too, and even the season before. It's like it's a continuous thing. So why we really don't know. But man, let me finally get the Senate.
Yeah, man. I saw that you got the Senate.
Yeah, man. Boy, I will meet the shop of make and boss him in still a bite of trouble.
Yeah, I noticed.
Bless up yourself, you know,
yeah, man, bless up yourself.
God bless you know.
All right, Arden.
Yeah, man. All right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. So people. So let me finish up this Mason Greenwood thing because we're doing 2 hours. So you have to get in your calls and comments early, right? So Mason Greenwood now. So I think he can create an opportunity out of this. There are persons. There's a place for Mason Greenwood. I think he has lots of years of good football. It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me if he moves abroad, does well, and come back to England in 2 to 3 years' time and dominate. So that's what I'd love to see, for him to play overseas, meaning outside of England, come back in a couple of years and dominate in England. All right. So I think this is an opportunity for him because he's a talented player. I think he would have been like a top player in this present Manchester United. And they're going to suffer the consequences for this move in the near future, I believe. All right. Also, listen, I personally know that Jamaica welcomes Mason Greenwood because we are like that. We're a forgiving people. You understand me? When it comes on to these things, so many times we deal with each other in the communities and street. Not that way, but when it comes on to our athletes, once we see them, apologizing and making amends for their action, they are forgiven. And so I want to say to the Greenwoods, you are welcome. You are welcome. We Jamaica welcome you. You understand me? You're the son of the soil. And, I think you can use this Jamaica team to help to get back your career where it rightfully supposed to be, at the top. You're one of the top players in your position. You come and play for Jamaica. I think it opens the door for you to get greater opportunities, because I believe once you get back to full fitness and match conditioning, you, Mr. Greenwood, will be a pivotal part of the Jamaica national senior football team. It could be pivotal in the 2026 World Cup campaign. And when we get there at that World Cup, and I think after 2026, doors will be open for you all over the place, Mr. Greenwood. I gladly invite you. I know there is one called Demo who may not agree, but the majority of us right now invite you to come over and be a part of Project Reggae Boyz 2026. We have a call online. He goes by the name Cataract. He has been missing in action, but he has made his grand return. Welcome to the show.
Master Six, good morning to you and the whole Reggae Boyz Nation. Hope you're doing well. Well, I know you're doing something, because Sunday morning, they ever send me the church service.
Yes.
But it kind of hard when we just in a dance or 2 ago. Be about it enough, so I don't want to like this like a church. But respect anyway. No man, it's a busy time for chatter. Remember say book every day, but football, Mason Greenwood. I can't tell you how upset I am about the news I've read. Having lived in England for more than 10 years.
Yeah.
There's a basic principle in life, in law, natural justice. You're innocent until proven guilty. And in this case, people are guilty even when the court of law says you're innocent. Now, I don't know what Mason Greenwood did with that young lady. I was not there. No one else was there. But people are passing judgment. And for me, this has to do with the race that in many persons' eye in England, how dare a black man lay his hands on a white woman. That's at the heart of it. I challenge you that if that young lady was Afro-Caribbean, as they call us, this would have all gone away once the judge hit the gavel and said, case dismissed. The case is not even dismissed sine die, which means that it can reopen at a later date. The case is just dismissed. The prosecution offered no evidence. In that case, the judge ruled that the case was to be dismissed and thrown out. Now, what is being done is an attempt to punish the person, the young man, even when the court couldn't issue a punishment. So you rob him of his livelihood, right? And the means by which he should make livelihood. And what would satisfy them is that Mason Greenwood become a painter or him work on a building site for the rest of his life and never make a dime out of football. That's what was it is. You know, in Shakespeare, Merchant of Venice, a
Ketera.
man want the pound of flesh. Yeah, but go ahead, sir.
Yeah, what I'll say though is that while I think he must be given an opportunity, let's say that were your daughter and those pictures emerge, because if you go back to the pictures that emerge, honestly, the pictures were not good. They never looked good. She had red substance running from her mouth area and stuff. So looking at the pictures, you cannot deny that something happened. No, things have changed that we can discuss, but we cannot say that the initial stuff, given the pictures that we saw, were not justified, because
So,
the pictures were terrible, though.
Management, I'd like to look at, if you ever can, look at something called the Guildford Four, where 4 persons were charged with a bombing, and the evidence was damning, and it turned out that that evidence was fabricated, and young men, including a black man and Irish, lost their freedom for nearly a decade.
Yes.
I do not know. It appears to be very damning. But then I ask the question, so why didn't the judge just lock him up and throw away the key?
No, that's what I'm saying. So here's what I'm saying. The consequences, you and I agree that the consequences that have been meted out, we can say it has the undertone of race because it is Mason Greenwood. But when it comes on to the female, those initial pictures, the initial evidence, I think indicated that something went wrong. Now, where I agree with you is that at that moment, he was declared guilty and had to prove his innocence. This is where you and I agree that at that point, he should have been called innocent until proven guilty. But we cannot deny that, you understand, we cannot deny that the initial pictures, those things are nothing to, yeah.
Come on, I don't know, and I don't want to be insensitive to the females, because there's a lot of gender issues, there's a lot of abuse in our country, Jamaica, that turns into murder. Lots of women lose their life at the hands of their domestic partner, their husband, their spouse, right? And these things are very serious. But there's also something called Photoshop. There are also things where images are manipulated. I'm in politics. I know what you can do and make something look in a different way than it is. I play sound. I know how to splice audio and take a piece from here, cut out a piece there, and it has a whole different context. I am not saying that's what the young lady did. I am not here to try the case. I'm just saying that there are other circumstances that were never explored or considered. The other thing, is that in the criminal court, the standard is beyond a reasonable doubt, right? We are aware of that principle there. But there's also a civil court that has a lower standard, a lower barrier where you can, man, I'm going to call you back. I'm going to call you back.
All right, not a problem. Yeah. All right, so this is a statement from Manchester United, for those of you who have not heard it. All right, that's Ketara. It says Manchester United has concluded its internal investigation into the allegations made against Mason Greenwood. Our process commenced in February 2023 following all charges against Mason being dropped. Throughout, we have taken into account the wishes, rights, perspective of the alleged victims along with the club's standards and values, and sought to collate as much information and context as possible. This has required us to proceed with sensitivity and care to obtain evidence not in the public domain, including from those with direct knowledge of the case. Based on the evidence available to us, we have concluded that the material posted online did not provide a full picture and that Mason did not commit the offenses in respect of which he was originally charged. So what Manchester is saying is that he did not do the things that he was charged for. That said, as Mason publicly acknowledged today, he has made mistake which he's taken responsibility for. All those involved, include Mason, recognize the difficulties with him commencing his career at Manchester United. It has therefore been mutually agreed that it would be most appropriate for him to do so away from Old Trafford, and will now work with Mason to achieve that outcome. So I get the feeling like the sentiment around the club from stakeholders, maybe, I don't know. I think Manchester and the Mason decided that, listen, I am innocent, you know, and I know, but the environment is not healthy for me. So let us move on. I will go on because I have offers, work out something for me. I think that is the case, right? So my point is, in all of this, right? He's not in all of this. I don't know. I just feel like we always believe people are guilty of things, right? And that is the thing. Like I believe if and this is part of our culture. If something was said about me publicly right now, I think majority of people believe, which is what I believe how systems are. The system is designed in such a way that you are always guilty and you need to prove that you're innocent. So therefore, there is no innocent person. I believe people must be given the benefit of the doubt of innocence, and then you find them guilty. Right? So it is a very very difficult situation. I know it's difficult for all the parties, including Mason. I see. Let me take back this call.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
No, but I'm not going to get into the legal thing. I'm just saying that in the court of the civil court, when you bring a civil case, the bar is a lot lower. That's how come a lot of players in the NFL and the NBA receive punishment for these kind of domestic matters. They don't rise to the criminal level to be proved in criminal court. But you can take out a civil lawsuit and get justice that way. But on a footballing front, I believe that the time for Jamaica to act is now. I know the young man would have a lot on his mind, but right now, him free up.
So why shouldn't the young... Let me ask you a different question. Why shouldn't he act now?
No. I'm saying he would have a lot on his mind.
Man, I hear what you are saying. No
No,
man,
man. I'm not saying he shouldn't act now.
no man.
Okay, go ahead.
I hear what you're saying. You're saying Jamaica should act now, which is suggesting that the powers that be should reach out to him and have him come and play for Jamaica. I have no problems with that. I agree with you. I am also asking though that given what is happening, why shouldn't he act now and say, you know what, this is what they think of me here. Let me do something different.
Okay, so what I'm saying, I don't know what the negotiations are, but I think, for example, and this is just me, for the Nations League, we can call him up to train with the squad. There's nothing that stops us or stops him if he's not on the
but
contract.
you're not understanding my point.
No, man, you're asking
agree,
why shouldn't he?
No. I agree with you that Jamaica needs to act right now. I agree with you that they should call him up to the squad. I agree with you that he should come and try the training squad. I agree with you that they should name him in the Nations League. I agree with you. I am asking.
No, not naming the Nation League because
no, man,
he doesn't have a passport.
I will go as far as that. Naming him in it. Whatever you want Jamaica to do, I agree with you. I am asking you, given what has transpired with him, why wouldn't you also say to Mason, listen, it is time for you now to make a decision and complete? That's what I am asking you. I'm not asking you what Jamaica is supposed to do. I'm asking you, given when players are going through things like this.
But you asked me 2 times here, so I can answer you.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And I posed to you that what would have happened today being released from your contract? When he started kicking a ball, he would have had a vision of himself going to the World Cup, scoring the winning goal, winning the league with Man U, scoring the winning goal in the last second, the Uruguayan player there at Manchester City or Jamie Vardy for Leicester. You'd have all those dreams. At this moment today, his dreams are shattered. And that has a massive mental effect on your mind. He could now be in a state of chronic depression. We don't know his mental state. To say that in his mental state, he's going to say, oh, let me pick up the phone and call Jamaica and say, yes, these people do me wrong and thing. I think what needs to happen is an ongoing conversation. So I wouldn't expect, just imagine, and I put it to you, if you woke up one morning, someone accused you of using the church collection and building fund to build your own house and to fly around the world with the Reggae Boyz. And then you are suspended from ministership, if that's what they call it, for a year. It's then proven that when it got to the court for the thing, they say, listen, we don't really have the evidence there, and they say, and then the next day, if you lost your church and your ability to preach and miss the word of God, just think for 1 minute what that would feel. If I lost the ability to play sound, I think I would go mad. I'd be almost borderline suicidal.
So I think
I think it's a fragile mental state. But go ahead.
So if you believe, then I'm just working with you. I don't want to say I'm playing devil's advocate. According to your thing, that Jamaica should reach out to him at this time. However, you're suggesting that given what has happened, his mental state, he could be going through chronic depression. So why shouldn't Jamaica allow him to go through this phase instead of calling him up?
Because you need support. So the option is to say,
so
hold on, let me finish. We know you're at a low point. If you want to just put on a football boots and get back to that feeling as a kid, the option is there to come and train with Jamaica in the upcoming international window.
All right. So here's my question to you again. I know
because
I'm going back. What I'm saying to you, I'm going back to my original question. While I agree that the federation and the powers that be can and should reach out to Mason Greenwood, one thing I know is that in all 12-step programs, recovery program, the person going through it have to come to acknowledgement or admittance of the thing, and they have to make a decision. So my My thing is, right, given what has transpired, can or shouldn't Mason also say, listen, I am going through this. I just need an avenue. Just like how we saw pictures of him training. Couldn't he reach out and say, listen, I see myself playing for Jamaica in the future. I don't know. And I'd love to be a part of your training camp. Because generally, people don't invite persons who they don't know if they have an interest to come and train as a training camp unless they believe the person is going to be a part of the team or part of their program going forward. And I agree with you, you know. Remember, I agree with you that the powers that be need to reach out and provide an avenue for him if they believe that he would be an important part. I believe so. But the powers that be need to believe that. I believe so. But I am also saying that if I read, listen, and I've known this. I know other players. But I need to finish, you know, because I know.
Go ahead.
I know other players who have gone through things and they have actually called and said, listen, this is what has been said. You have heard the situation. I am available if you want me to. Because they know they need that avenue, like you said,
that is
to
totally
get
unfair.
back.
That's totally unfair.
What is totally unfair?
There's nobody that has had this level of situation, no scrutiny of the world, being basically chased out the land of your birth.
What are you talking about?
There's no one.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Cataract? What do you mean that he's been chased out of the land of his birth? Like,
you don't understand that? That's
no, I don't understand. Give me, listen, you're going to tell me that this is not like this. You said that Mason Greenwood is being chased out of the land of his birth. Provide me with evidence. That's all I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking for the court. Okay.
For the court?
Hold on. Yeah, but you ask you 3-4 questions I can answer. So the first question is this. Look at the websites of clubs like Liverpool, Arsenal. I don't think Chelsea. I haven't seen Chelsea recently because, you know, they're just a big whoops. Don't come here. I don't even think if he signed for Wrexham in League 2, that would be acceptable. The footballing public, if you listen to the radio, I've heard clips, the TV pundits, most of them, not all, most, because I would say Ian Wright said that or whatever, most of them are.
Cataract, I don't like when you and I talk, though, you have a different conversation. I think sometimes this is.
No, but ask about where's the evidence that he's being chased out of his country.
Cataract, and you are listen, all right. What I want to stick to things when you and I talk. I don't want to be all over the place. Let us just stick to it.
If you take us all over the place, into a hypothetical.
I did not take you into a hypothetical. It's because you propose that it's time now for the JFF to basically reach out to him. All right? And you speak.
But it's not that a simple reach out to him. I am suggesting that the JFF, in an empathetic way, to a young black man who is of full Jamaican parentage and heritage, that hold on.
Here's what happened. Here's what happened when you talk. Here's what happened when you talk. You paint a picture like I am contradicting what you're saying, and I do not like that because, like this person, for example, we're having and listen what they say, because how you speak, you say a lot of things that people are not saying, and people run with it, and you don't give people a chance to talk. So I'm going to stop you every time you're saying things that we are not discussing. There's no question about it. There's no question about his legitimacy, his connection to. We're not questioning those things. So do not bring them into because you're bringing them into the conversation and then you're going away from them. So when you go away from them and then you
can't go away from anything because you stop me in every 3 words. I would have begged of you that you allow me to finish, and if the point I'm making is controversial or is painting you in a light, I didn't say management said he's not eligible. I said as a Jamaican who as a person who is of Jamaican
listen to me. Listen to me, Cataract. Just listen to me. I'm going to give you a good example of what your communication does. I'm going to read a comment for you.
Here we go with the comment, please.
No, listen, because...
Did you say to me a while ago that we need to ignore the comment?
Cataract, listen, just listen to me. Just listen to me. When you speak many times, what you, in your conversations, you say a lot of things that are not a part of the discussion, uninterrupted, that paints a picture that is different from the question that was posed. A good example is Vibin has said this to your earlier comments. Manning's man, it is not the players to select themselves to the national team squad. And that was because you were talking about the federation reaching out. And I propose a question. No, because you have gone on that whole long thing about the mental state and the federation and what would be, he comes up with this. Nobody was talking about selecting players to the national squad. But how you have phrased and stated your point.
But you and I were not we're not talking about selecting players for national squad.
This is what happened. That's what I'm giving you the example of some. No, watch me now. I'm giving you an example of how sometimes when you speak and you bring things into the equation that are not being asked, people walk away with impressions of people who are on the panel with you that are not true. And I don't think you're mindful of that.
So, Mannings, I would like to say that if I can finish a sentence and then someone takes it up, I will be there to correct them.
Go ahead.
Now, firstly, we are not talking about selecting a squad to go and play in the Nation League, because you and I know at this point, Mason Greenwood would have had football rust, as well as he doesn't at this moment have a Jamaican passport. Right? So whoever's saying that, please stop the lunacy. What I was suggesting is that in some sort of therapeutic initiative, the Jamaica Football Federation could reach out to the player and his agent and his mother and his father and say, look, just so that he can get back in a mental state, because we know he loves football. When we are calling together our camp, we are inviting him to come to Jamaica and train with the team. No strings attached. Just so that Mason, and let me tell you this, man, if Mason Green would turn up, even said yes, the training couldn't hold up a UE. We'd have to train in the national stadium because there would be 30,000 people in that stadium to watch the training. So the selection of a squad is the purview of Coach Hal Grimson and his technical team of coaches alone, not Cataract, not the general secretary, not the president, not Manning's man, nobody. So I am not trespassing on that right. What I'm suggesting is an accommodation in the same way, for example, that Dante Casanova was invited to come to the Trinidad thing and be amongst the squad and thing, but he didn't take the field. Right? That is what I'm suggesting. So I hope I'm clearer about where my thought process is, and you can tell me if you agree or if I just mad miss Cataract attack.
All I will ask is very simple. And I say it again, while I agree with you, I believe, that at this point, the process needs to be ongoing of him getting his Jamaican documentation to represent Jamaica. I believe that this is the ideal time. That is not where my conversation is. I think it will be difficult, though, to not have that as a plan, to invite somebody just randomly to come and train. My suggestion would be, if we see him as a part of the future, We need to start that. And we may not be able to get the documentation, but let him come and be a part. There we go. All right. So bam. So that's number one. Number two, though, I also believe that Mason, given the whole thing, and that's how I started out, I believe he needs a new space and a new place. And that means playing overseas. I said that. He needs to play overseas, and in a couple of years, he can come back to England and be a dominant player there at, say, 25, when he's at his peak, leading up to the 2026 World Cup. I said all of that. So I believe that that is possible, that in 2026, he could return to the biggest club in England and do extremely well because he can play overseas. It may come with some pressure, but that is possible. I believe he should be. But I also believe that in the same way, Mason will look at all the conditions around him and say, you know what, at this present time, I don't think it is in my best interest to play in England at any club in the Premier League. And why should I play in the Championship at this time of my career? So here's what I will do. I will make a move to go overseas and play, maybe in Italy, maybe in Germany, wherever, in France, wherever, in Turkey, wherever, and play and restore some of what was stolen or robbed from me because this was it. That's what I think he should do. And in the same breath as he does that, he should also think about it from a national perspective. And all I'm suggesting is that if he feels that way, he could also make contact. He doesn't have to, but he could make contact and say, listen, I'm really considering this. I'm processing my documentation. And if there's an opportunity, I would love to be a part of your training camp. That's all I'm saying. So we are not far apart, you know. That's all I'm saying.
No, we're not. We're not. That's why I wondered why you, if it's just because you are the pastor and you feel me at the devil, you have in a spiritual warfare with me in high and low places.
And please, Cataract,
because you're not saying anything different.
Cataract.
No, but hear me.
I would say this to you. No 30,000. I don't want you to lose the point because I need to hold on. I need to go back to he's been driven out of his country of birth. I want you to go back to that because that's where you were. We're not going to lose that. And number two, I have to correct you. No 30,000 people not going to watch no training session in Jamaica.
Oh, really?
Really. 30,000 people not even going to watch a match in Jamaica.
Oh, really? That's the point I'm making. That's the point I'm making to you.
You believe that if Mason Greenwood was training in Jamaica, 30,000 people would go and watch it?
Might be a hyperbole, maybe 29,900.
People, somebody, please tell me about sense. Cataract is telling me. People, Cataract is telling me that 30,000 Jamaicans would go to a training session. If let me just put it there. If Mason Greenwood is training in Jamaica, not Mikel Antonio, not Ethan Pinnock, not Demarai Gray, but if Mason Greenwood.
So why are you raising other players' names and bringing them into a conversation? We talk about Mason Greenwood.
No, I know.
I am suggesting to you. Hear me out now, that if Mason Greenwood came and was unveiled and it was revealed that he was going to be training at a one-off training session at the stadium.
Yeah.
The stadium ram.
Cataract. Oh, Jesus.
May I tell you that? Do you remember 98? There would be sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8,000 people in the stadium for training.
Cataract.
And who were we watching?
Cataract. Hear what you just said, Cataract. In 1998, when we were on the brink of qualifying now. Couple of games.
No.
Cataract, I am telling you, this was not in the first round. This was when there were the 5 games that were left. We had 5 games left. The middle of the campaign, 5. And the first game, the training wasn't big. It's 4 games. And in 1997, and what is and 7,000.
You are thwarting history. So,
tell me.
Just hear now. Recall that the training used to be at Red Stripe on Spanish Town Road.
You just said in 1998 there were 7,000 and 8,000 people in the stadium.
Yes, and nobody comment because of that you do. You love read next man comment and bring it in at the discussion. I was there.
I was there.
The training, hold on, no. The training used to be held at Red Stripe
I was
on
there.
Spanish Town Road. Hold on, yeah, man. Because of the size of the training and the amount of vehicles parked on the side of the road, it created a serious traffic snarl on what was a major, it was only 2 lanes at that time, right? They moved it from, people couldn't get to work at Red Stripe and all them madness. They moved it to Barbican football field. And in the last games of the first round, we were training at Barbican football field. And then the same complaint happened on East Kings House Road, that the place full and people can't get to work in a New Kingston come and park them carrying in the middle of the road and I watch the training. And then the training reached to the National Stadium. And the game that you are speaking about, that 5 game to go, it was when we just started training there.
But
and it wasn't full.
Isn't that what I'm so much? Oh my, you went through all of that. So, Ketara, do you know that the Red Stripe training facility can hold 75,000 people?
No, it can't. I never said 5,000 people was at Red Stripe. I said that the amount of people who were trying to get there, they were causing delivery trucks not to be able to come out, workers not to be able to get in, and that is why they were asked to relocate. Am I saying something that's not correct?
Let's listen to what I said here. The idea, because I don't want to lose, because I still needed to go back about the man being driven out of this country. The idea, Cataract, the idea is that 30,000 people go and watch a training session when 10,000 not going to watch a match, Cataract. I find that hard to believe. But you're a man of much faith. I'm just saying that I don't believe that is going to happen. You believe so. You believe so. And I'm saying, cool, that's okay. That's okay. I don't believe that 30,000 Jamaicans are going to go and watch a training session, because not even 50, hard to find 15,000 to go and watch a match.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. That's my... Listen, you have to understand marketing and product. Michael Antonio.
Oh, Jesus.
For me, I think it's only Bob Marley resurrected. Look, Jamaicans love a spectacle and thing. When Buju Banton came out of prison, the stadium was over full when he held his first concert. Even though people would have had things and said, boy, him get charged and drug charges and this.
So Mason Greenwood coming to Jamaica is equivalent to Buju Banton concert out of, is that what you're trying to say?
It's marketing. It could be.
No, you're saying that Mason Greenwood coming to train in Jamaica is equivalent to the concert that Buju had, having not performed in Jamaica.
It could be. It could be. Let me say to you, I think you would hold on. Let me say it. Do you believe we'd have more than 50 press and media houses flying if Mason Greenwood's first training in a year and a piece was in Jamaica?
Can I ask you an honest question, Cataract?
Yeah, man, go ahead, my boss.
Honest question.
Mason, come home to Jamrock.
Did you play out? Did you play out last? Did the sound play out last night?
Of course.
And
yes,
when,
I did not
when you got up this morning, you had your breakfast?
I'm having my breakfast now.
Okay, all right. Have you taken your medication? Like, I know you're on.
I don't have any medication.
Oh, I thought you had some.
I haven't taken the medication until after 8. You know that you cannot take harsh painkillers.
So, you know what
my judgment is not clouded.
No, man.
I'm not high as a kite. I'm not hungover.
No, God,
right, let me ask you something.
So, let me finish. I'll allow you to finish. Let me finish now. I find it that after you have eaten and taken your medication, though it is not a mental stuff, I believe that after you have done that, generally, you sound a whole lot better than in the morning. I realize that in the morning before you have breakfast, that's why I ask you, your medication, you have some very strange thing that you come up with. I don't know. So that's all I'm saying. But I realize that anytime your belly full and you take a medication, brother, you sound smart.
Is that about race? Are you saying that after I eat my belly full, I have ethnic fatigue?
I don't
No,
know.
but I am putting you on the spot now, man. Man. I'm putting the people in the comment section because I can't see the comments.
It's a good thing.
I'm asking you.
It's a good thing you not see the comment.
Yeah, but I'm not busy with my comment. I have my own views. No man can program me or press my button. Some will agree, some will disagree,
So
and
tell me-
people like Ricardo Baggio, and then they will just continue just chatting foolishness.
So how you
So
know,
let
how
me-
you not
let
seen
me-
the comment I mentioned Ricardo Baggio?
Because he does that. Right? So let me say this. I am challenging you. Do you believe that if Mason Greenwood was training in the stadium, it was announced that September 5th, Mason Greenwood was training in the stadium. How many patrons do you think would turn up in that stadium?
Not 30,000.
How many?
I can't put a number.
That's how, not
Definitely not 30,000.
100?
Like 100 person with media and stuff. You may have a more than, you know, man. You'll have more than 100, man. You could probably have probably 1,000 up in the thousands, but probably yeah.
Up in the
But
thousands.
I don't see with 10,000 people going to watch down training. Even if we got some more Premier League players.
It's not a matter of getting Premier League players.
Listen,
It's
all right,
what
let me
Premier League players.
So let me give you some. Give me some high-profile Premier League players that would come and represent Jamaica. That hypothetically speaking, give me some names like. So put Mason Greenwood. Who again? Who again is out there that we could say?
Let's
Rico
go down.
Henry. Especially Rico
Rico
Henry.
Henry.
And Crystal Palace player.
Tyreek Mitchell. Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis from Manchester City.
Yeah.
Nobody coming to watch Rico Lewis train.
Yeah, we just call some more random Premier League.
Like Kelly. Like Kelly from Bournemouth.
Yeah. Call some more. Dan Burns. Dwight McNeil.
Dan Burns from Newcastle. People might come and see Dan Burns because they might want to know who's this white Jamaica.
Call all of them. Dwight McNeil.
None of those players.
Watch me.
All of them together.
Hold on, man. Watch me, no cataract. I'm going to call Mason Greenwood,
right.
Ben Godfrey, Max Aaron.
Mason the whole gate.
Mason Holgate. Watch it. And I'm going to put Mason Greenwood in that with all of them coming. 30,000 people not going to watch a training.
What are you talking about?
That's what I'm talking about. I just told you what I'm talking about. 30,000 people not going to watch a training still.
So when I went when Manchester City was playing the Champions League, right? I was at hold on a section. Let me finish, sir. I was at Kingston Jerk on Chelsea. And they had to stop people from coming because there were more than 300 people who came to watch the big screen thing.
Who are you going to talk about? Champions League, Manchester playing Champions League for a watch along. 300 people to 30,000.
You don't get my point. You don't get my point. I'm saying you.
Cataract, what percentage of 30,000 is 300? Tell me that. They take it so long, man.
You're asking me?
You're trying to calculate.
I'm trying to calculate.
What
do you mean? What do you mean? I'm trying to calculate.
I'm just asking a question. I know you can't answer.
I didn't answer. No, I don't understand you. I don't understand you. Do you not have a degree in mathematics?
What percentage?
Yes, I'm what 1%. And I'm saying 1% of that number is coming to watch. Hold on.
1%. You're comparing 1%. 1%.
Yes, and I'm saying some percentage of that, and I am saying 30,000, and I may be wrong. It may be 29. It may be 25. It may be 22. It may be 15. But if 10,000 people come to watch Mason Greenwood in a one-off training, wouldn't that be augur well for Jamaican football? The program itself, wouldn't that excite sponsors to see so many people? Wouldn't that be a commercial success?
Cataract, let's leave this alone. I think we have spent enough time on this. Let me ask you, because you were saying that, let me just ask you finally on this, because you were saying that I disagree with you that he's been driven out of the country of his birth. So explain to the people what that means, because I don't want to just say things and leave them out there. So explain what you mean by that. Mm-hmm.
I'm saying there's a vicious campaign, anti-Mason Greenwood campaign, particularly on social media, but in large elements of the English football press, right? Some printed, and a lot of them on England still has a lot of people a lot of radio programs, they still get their footballing information from radio while they are commuting, like the 5 o'clock commute and the early morning commute. They still get a lot of their content there, right? And it's been anti-Mason Greenwood. Some very racist comments. They don't want him in England squad. They don't want him anywhere near England squad.
So hold on.
They don't want him. Various teams, their supporters club of various teams.
We Cataract at this present
Yes,
at this present time. There are two things that I want you to distinguish.
Okay, sir.
All right. One, a club not wanting to sign the player and him being driven out of the country of his birth. Because that is a statement that you made that I'd love for you to clarify.
And I've just clarified it and said that there are large sections of the social media and the English footballing public, the spectators, who have an anti-Mason Greenwood campaign going. And they don't want to see him play for any club in the 90 club pyramid, the 90 plus club pyramid, that is the English professional leagues.
So if they don't want him to play in the English professional league, that does not necessarily constitute him being driven out of the country of his birth.
So where am I going to play?
So
this is not by his choice.
Him can play.
He's not going to go to Besiktas by his choice or Real Madrid by his choice.
He's not playing football. He's not being driven out of your country. That's all I'm saying. I think the statement you're making is too strong. To be driven out means that you cannot live here anymore.
In order to, since you want to split hairs, in order to pursue his professional career at which he is trained, certified, and capable, he's being driven out of the country of his birth and prevented from earning a living at the in professional football. Jesus Christ, I have to say all of those words just to satisfy you. They're not running him out of the country from going to the beach. They're running him out of the country and about playing football and earning a sizable living. That's what I was referring to. I didn't know that was not clear.
Okay. All right. So I believe. Let me
put you on the point. I asked you two questions and you didn't answer. First of all, you say you didn't know how many people would come, but I'm asking you, do you believe...
I did answer, not 30,000. Jamaica,
yeah, but that's
30,000
not a number.
Jamaica don't even have the kind of culture to have 30,000 to watch a game in the national stadium. Whether we play in Mexico or USA in a game, we don't have the culture that drives that easily.
But Pastor Frank,
ask the question.
You believe if Jamaica was playing Argentina and Lionel Messi was going to be in the stadium?
But that is the point. I'm going to answer you. I'm going to answer you.
Pose a question.
I'm answering you, so let me answer you. The 30,000...
I'm going to say... Go ahead.
The more than 30,000 fans who would want to go to watch that game are going predominantly to watch Lionel Messi. So if you ask me, because Lionel Messi don't need to play Jamaica in the national stadium for 30,000 people to be there. Lionel Messi can just come to Jamaica and be juggling the ball in the national stadium by himself, and 30,000 people will be there. He don't need to play.
Thank you for making my point for me. Thank you.
But
You've just eloquently made the point that I've been trying to say is that one player with a cachet and a marquee name
Jesus, peace.
can cause.
You know who we just talked to,
And I'm
Ketara? The
not saying
only
I am not saying
similarity with Lionel Messi
I
and Mason Greenwood is that Mason starts with M and Messi start with M. Nothing else.
God, and they both have strong left feet. I am not saying that Mason Greenwood is in the category of Lionel Messi. I know you have to look at the phone and know that some. Oh, I can't speak my mind, but people can type what they want to type with that. Some dimwit is going to say, so you say Lionel Messi and Mason Greenwood and same thing. No, I'm not. They're not in the same conversation.
You're reading the comments, man. You're acting like you're not reading the
I
comments.
am not reading the comments. I'm on a WhatsApp call with you. I can just guess. And I can even tell you it will be who. It'll probably be Drew Fortis or Roberto Baggio or one of those anti-cataract court jesters. I am asking you, if you believe that an invitation to Mason Greenwood, one, to come train with the squad would be accepted, just in your humble opinion. Two, would it be a boost, a shot in the arm for the Jamaica Reggae Boyz program, or would it attract a huge negative backlash? Because I don't just want to, I thought we were going to have a good discussion, right? A huge negative backlash. And number three, should Mason Greenwood come, train 2 sessions with the Reggae Boyz and decide, oh my God, why didn't I think of this before in my whole entire life? And decide to march up to Pika, take out the little pocket change, small change out of his pocket and apply for a one express 2-day.
Ketara, why you don't
hold on.
But you ask it, listen now, why you don't just ask me the question?
I'm doing like you.
Ketara, just ask me the question one at a time. Let me answer them now. You want to interview me? Ask me the question one at a time. So go back to your first question. Because honestly, the third question is so long, I don't remember the first question. So let's go back. You remember their questions?
I do.
All right.
When Mr. Dennis was here, he didn't have a problem remembering the questions.
I do.
But since you have memory problem, Jimmy Coba by local, I heard it's a good thing. Do you think an invitation to train with the Reggae Boyz is a good idea? And do you think it would be accepted by the coach and by Mason, the two parties?
I believe that the door is open for the coach of the Jamaica national football team and the powers that be to fast track whatever it is from Mason Greenwood to be a part of the Jamaican setup going ahead, which would mean if that process starts, it would be good for him to come to the training camp whenever it is to see his condition, to see if he's ready, and that he can be a part of the Jamaica national team going forward.
So you're choosing not to answer the question.
Of course I did.
I asked you if you thought that invitation would be acceptable to the player and the national coach. That was the question.
I just said I believe the coach should. So obviously, I can't tell you that Mason Greenwood would. I've never had conversation with Mason Greenwood to tell you that Mason Greenwood would welcome the idea. How would I know that? I can't tell you that Mason Greenwood would welcome the idea. Maybe you know. I don't know. I've never met the person. Okay. So I can't hear speak and say, yeah, man, Mason would welcome the idea. How would I know that?
Okay.
So that part of the question is huh?
Okay, so let me move on to the next question. I think
I'm very sure at one point you had a person who was close to you, who was an attorney. They don't tell you how to ask questions. Great leaders ask good questions, and you need to read that book.
Right. Mercy. Are you going to tell me about leadership? Okay.
Second question.
Let me go on. Do you think that it would be a shot in the arm for the Jamaica football program if Mason Greenwood were to accept an invitation to train with the Reggae Boyz squad? Or do you think it would attract severe local and global backlash?
I think Mason Greenwood, I'll say it again, being a part of the Jamaican setup in full fitness, match condition would be a welcome addition and would do a whole lot for the football. I think it will even attract more players. There will be backlash, both locally and internationally. And Mason Greenwood, the team, the JFF will have to find ways of controlling that, because there will be backlash. There will be backlash. There will be. It don't mean that it should not happen.
I'm not going to answer no question. I'm going to do like a slick. I'm going to do like a slick. Do you comprehension is a thing, you know? Like a subject in English comprehension. Like your question answered. If my question said, accept an invitation to train with the squad, you start by answering and saying, I'm fully fit and ready.
No.
We're not talking about the
Hey, listen. You, the first question was answered. The second question was, would it be a shot in the arm? The subject of this, the subject of the sentence was the shot in the arm. The next sentence, the subject of that sentence is this backlash. I told you that it would be the shot in the arm, but there will be backlash. I don't understand what comprehension you're talking about.
No, but you spoke about if he's in the squad. And I'm not talking about in the squad, I'm just talking about training.
So what?
I think to make that clear. Number 3, do you think that any one or many members of the Jamaica national women's team or teams would have a strong objection to rising to the point where they would where they would
Ketara,
yes,
how you
yes,
gonna ask a question on a public platform if somebody sing any member of a national team would have? How you gonna know how people gonna feel, and how you know that? What you use to determine that? We can't argue speculations.
Not arguing, ask your question.
But you can't answer question.
You
What
can
am
say,
I supposed to say?
know, sir.
Well, you know what? Given how you know that because thing you're tall and brown, she may have a problem. You know, you think because thing you're slim and round, round and brown, she may have a problem.
I think you haven't been around ladies. You said slim and round.
Slim and round, yeah.
Who is slim and round? Which one is slim and round?
Slim and round.
You don't know nothing about the girl business.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so we believe that.
About the girl business.
So how are you going
to
listen to the question you're asking, Ketara? You're asking a question.
I'm going to teach you politics 101.
Ketara.
I do not know. I would have to investigate and get back to you.
What?
That's an acceptable answer.
Ketara.
It's the biggest and the baddest song. Buju Banton said that.
Oh, God.
I guess you've been listening to my samples. I'm throwing things out there that are legitimate things. If you don't know, just say you don't know and we can move along. Why you have to take off Kalabaloo and a song and dance? Jesus, peace.
That is your third question.
Yes, that was where I got into it. I had 2 other questions surrounding Mason Greenwood.
You have 2 more. Go ahead.
Yes, remember you stopped me? And I was saying to you, my other question to you was, do you think it's plausible that if Mason came around, the team decided to apply for his citizenship and passport in an express and expedited manner and got that passport?
If what?
If Mason Greenwood, having trained as an invitee with the team, was so impressed with Coach Hardrimson, his teammates, that he went out and fast-tracked getting his citizenship through the expedited express process, and which can be as short as 48, 72 hours. I don't believe, but do you believe that he would then be or should be included in the Nations League squad?
So let me go back to my original answer and the original discussion from the channel. I believe the opportunity, I started out with this. Every adversity provides us with opportunity. The opportunity is right for Mason Greenwood, for the powers that be in our football to come together and make this work so that this player can be a part of the Jamaican setup. I think it would benefit him, and I think it would benefit Jamaica. I believe that Mason Greenwood, if he were to play overseas in club football, he would, after 3 years, which leads up to 2026, come back to England at the age of 24, 25 and be dominant there. I also believe that he'll be part of a group of players that will bring Jamaica to the World Cup, and we will do well there with him. That is my firm belief, and I've stated that. So that should give you an indication of where I'm at, so you don't ask the question because I said that already.
That's not a question, though. You just being verbose and obtuse. I just simply asked you if he fast tracked and got his passport prior to the Nation League game against Haiti. Do you think he should suit up?
What do you think?
In the
23-man
squad? Suit. S-U-I-T, suit up.
What do you think? Listen, but Cataract, you said it. You said this, you know. We can always name a fit Mason Greenwood, match fit, football fit.
Yeah, but he's not match fit at this point in time.
Let me tell you, a fit Mason Greenwood will always be a part of a Jamaican squad once he has Jamaican citizenship. I don't understand what you get going around and stuff.
Fit meaning healthy fit or match fit?
However you want to define it. I need the fifth question. You add your definition to it. You add whatever definition you put to it, that's the one I'm using. So you question number 5. You put your definition. You define it how you want. Question number 5.
Question number 5.
Yes.
Is a personal question to you.
Yes. So the other questions were not personal?
No, those are public interest questions.
Oh. Why?
When you go to sleep, when you wake up, and before you go to bed, and you cry on to the Lord as I know you do.
Say? When I wake up before I go to bed?
When you wake up and before you go to bed, on both occasions which I know you cry on to the Lord in prayer and supplication, do you pray for Mason Greenwood to come into the Jamaican squad and get a passport?
No.
Oh no. Let's be prayer. Every morning when I wake and give thanks for life, and I pray that Mason Greenwood say yes, get him passport, get fit, get a club and come represent Jamaica. And it wasn't given on to me, but I want England in the knockout phase of the 2026 World Cup. And
all right, Cataract.
We're going to go. Big up yourself, man and smile.
Right.
Any questions for Cataract?
No, not at this time. I think we have spent enough time. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and all the best to you. And Cataract, low power, high power. Sorry.
Well, it's actually not Cataract high power. It's just Cataract sound.
Cataract sound.
Big and the body. So let's not all that man there. I mean, Team Cataract family. Yeah, man.
All right. People, listen. I don't know if any of you saw this, right? But there is a CFU, I think, Caribbean Football Union, tri-series they call it. It's under 14. And a link was sent to me yesterday. I think when the game go on, you probably can get the link. It's on Facebook, the CFU Facebook site. But there was a Jamaica under 14 team playing against Puerto Rico. The Jamaican team lost, I think, 4-0. I will tell you this, like, and I can't even blame the little girls, right? But when I tell you, terrible, people, terrible. Now, I know the excuse is going to be, oh, we didn't have any time to prepare them and we're just trying to give opportunity. Listen, we cannot, at our senior level, be making it to second round of World Cup. And at under 14, this is the way we look. This is why, and I'm going to tell you why I have a problem with this. in Jamaica, we don't have primary and prep school female football competition. In Jamaica, we don't have academies at under 13 level that facilitates young female football. So when girls start to play football in Jamaica, it may be 1 and 2 who play for their primary school or prep schools. That's like at most 9 games for an entire year. Okay? They go to high school and they probably made the high school team in first form, some of them if they're really good. But outside of that, there's no other structured program. So I'm trying to figure out. So where did we find these kids? Put them together to play in a tournament like this. And they look that way. I don't know who is the coach. I'm not here blaming anybody, but let me tell you something. It was when I said that they can't pass the ball, they can't control. Like there's so many things. It's amazing. And I see Puerto Ricans at that same age. You know why? Because they have academies. The Puerto Rican teams have a lot of their players who play in academies, or they're in academies in the USA. So they brought them over to play. Completely different quality. What is the point I am making? Is it so hard for us to look at some of the coaches, Jamaican coaches, in the diaspora? We could have done that, and say to them, we have this tournament coming up. They have girls playing from age 5, training and learning. Now they are 13 and 12, 7 years. Triple the amount of time the kids in Jamaica playing. And let them come and merge them with some of the Jamaican kids. Why is that so hard for us to do? What are we trying to prove? Why we feel like we need to prove that we can do something? Why as Jamaicans we kind of have that mindset that we need to prove to people that we are. We need to prove to them that we can. It's our thinking that is messing us up. I wish the young ladies all the best and whomever who coaching this team. But I cannot understand if we don't have girls football at that level, how in heaven's name are we going to put them in a competition? How? When we have other Jamaicans who are playing football 8 months of the year, non-stop, who could have represented. It also points to this, that one of my hope is that there will be female football at the grassroots level, properly organized grassroots football. You understand what I mean? That means in primary school, we should not have boys and girls playing together. We should have a competition for girls. We need to get that. If we're going to enter under 14, we're going to need that. When it goes to primary high school, you need 2 competitions, not 3. You don't want cold Pepsi and you don't want under 14, under 16, and Manning Cup. What we need is the female version of Manning Cup, and then you have like a under 14. If you're going to enter under 14 competition, then play under 14 competitions for girls. And if enough girls are not playing, then how do we believe we're going to enter an under 14 competition with them? And people don't like when you talk truth, When you talk truth, them vex. That's a part of the problem with Jamaican, You're not supposed to. One, when it comes down to many Jamaicans, you're not supposed to criticize them. I can tell you this. There are young ladies in this age group that are in academies in the USA that would have gladly, their parents would have gladly, in Canada, like Richard Edwards said, who parents would have gladly had them represent Jamaica that are on the US radar. And if you had 9 of them and merge them with some of these, because we deep down in our hearts know that our kids, these young ladies, they are not playing enough football. They are not playing enough football in Jamaica to go and enter a competition like this. It does not look good on the back of what we have done in the World Cup. And we have to seriously look at our football and see where we need help and get it. Why we still like that, Jamaica? Why when it's obvious that we need help. It's obvious we allow pride and ego to not let us say, listen, boy, we're struggling in this area. Help us out. We need help in this. Why? We can't do that. It shouldn't be. And we need to stop it. We need to give our kids the best environment to be the best. Put them alongside the best. At the stage of our football, for us to have a group of players, and I'm telling you, and I mean, I don't want to be hard on them, the young ladies, because they did try, but I want you to watch the game. When I tell you that, like, there's no defending, there's no controlling, there's no passing, there's nothing. Like, I saw Puerto Rico playing against them, and Puerto Rico completed, like, I think 16 passes one at a time. This is under 14. When Jamaica get the ball, we couldn't pass it. They can't even make a proper pass. You can see that some of these kids are young, that they are just being introduced to the game, and they're introduced to the game in a competition under 14. And I'm saying that don't put them in that environment if they are not properly prepared. That's all I'm saying, because we could have looked at other options. And it's not a detriment to the development of football. So until we have, listen, and I'm going to talk to the people in the diaspora too, you know, all right? We cannot enter under 14 female competition when there is no under 14 female football competition in Jamaica. None whatsoever. None. That's number one. Number two, because we have to talk about this. No. I want to, and this is encouragement. One of the things I've learned in leadership is to remove excuses. Remove excuses. What I mean by that, some people will give you excuse. So why you reach work late? Couldn't get any bus. So you know what you do? You buy a staff bus to pick them up. You understand me? So you remove the excuse. So, people in the diaspora, here's the thing. The consistent excuse is, how are we going to invite these kids? You know how much money it is to buy the tickets. You know how much money it is to do this and to fly them here to Jamaica and things. So here's what I want the people in the diaspora to do. You're in a particular jurisdiction. Begin to raise funds. Do like this lady with the Reggae Girls camp or the Reggae Girls Foundation. Begin to raise funds so that when your kids need to travel to anything, you remove the excuse of we couldn't invite them because we didn't have any money. So you can say, no, man, we have raised funds. We can send them to the camp. We can fly them in and we can fly them back home. In other words, begin to do things in the diaspora. And maybe Kyle, we need to do this. You understand me? Maybe we need to just start having funds in reserve as a Reggae Boy supporters club, Kyle. That means when they say that we don't have any funds, we say, listen, we can help to fly the kids here. We can. Because it is pointless to have the talent and go out there and embarrass ourselves. And so they can come in. They can go to the tournaments and participate. Because here's what we know. That when these tournaments are kept for the most part, a lot of the cost is covered by CONCACAF or whomever. All right? So all they need is to travel to and fro as it relates to the training camps. So I think diaspora groups need to seriously consider putting together resources, right, where they can indirectly help. So when 5 kids from Atlanta, for example, need to travel to a camp here in Jamaica or wherever, you already have raised money for their tickets so that nobody can say they could not travel because of that. Until they say they have money that can do it, you make sure you have it in reserve. So you remove the excuses because we have to begin to do better. We have to. We cannot continue like this. Cannot continue like this. All the best to the young ladies, but it was very disappointing. Very disappointing. And I don't even know because I don't know how long they have been preparing. I don't know where one of them are for. Because like I said, as far as I know, there is no organized U14 female competition in Jamaica. So where did these girls come from? How long were they preparing? Where have they been playing football? How much games have they played? How many games have they played before they went and played in this tournament? If you don't have kids playing a minimum of 50 games before them go and participate in competition like this, it's a joke thing. Because playing time improves you. All right. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how much game can a 12-year-old, because remember you're 12 and 13. How many games a 12 and 13-year-old play MPEG TV? I agree with you, Drew. Look like one more player biting the dust, meaning look like he's going to Saudi. Look like Rafael Varane leaving Manchester United. Oh my word, not good. Mannings, I think the government of Jamaica must take heavily into consideration investing fully into our sport. Totally agree. I just saw where the Australian government, because of the success of the female team, planning on investing over 280 million, I believe, into female sport. I think the Jamaican government need to do that. I think netball needs serious improvement. Female football needs serious investment. And I think the government of Jamaica needs to invest heavily in that because it is a viable industry. And if Jamaica don't begin to pump resources into its sporting industry, we are going to miss out. I am telling you, we need to seriously consider investing in the sporting industry, especially on the female side, because we're having success. We're having success. It is possible that Jamaica, because of the team that we have, could qualify for 3 consecutive World Cups. See how many players get in contract coming out of the World Cup. But track and field heating up what? Hyde is out? Oh no. Hyde is out. Hyde is out. Leon Bailey, good game. 1 goal, 1 assist. Big game. Mikel Antonio. Knocking Chelsea. All right. Yeah. Like that. Say, for years, I've been hearing about improvement when it comes to our national stadium and still nothing. Raphael gonna create generation wealth by going to the Saudi Pro League. Listen, people, honestly, let me go back to the track and field for the track and field fans, Let me tell you this. I think Shelly winning the 100 meters still, and Sharika winning the 200, No surprises, I think Shelly winning the 100 meters. I think Jamaica getting 2 medals in the 100 meters. Shelly, Parchment, and Hibbert getting medals today, and Sharika. 4 medals Jamaica getting today. 4. Jamaica supposed to get medal in the 4x4, for men, That, So I counted 10 medals for Jamaica and I still believe in 10 medals. But I believe Shelly creating history. For some reason, I think she has been playing it smart and she's going to win gold. I see how she started yesterday, and we have been complaining about the start of her race. And you see how she started that race? Problem. Big up to Oblique Civil. I mean, what a race, man. So many persons at the same time. Just unfortunately, he never got a medal. 2nd, 4th place in major global events. So unfortunate, but still young. Think he has to measure his races. Big up Brown, man. He say, such man not doing anything to help no sport in Jamaica. As you said, man, academy is the way. Start at the development, then U8 and up. That's how I see it here in Brooklyn. Definitely. A.M. Henry, big up. Daphne, big up all the females who have been a part of the discussion. Cully, Sinclair, big up. Sure improvement. Blessings, every time. Yeah. This one says, the minister presented the plans in Parliament for the upgrades to the National Stadium and Sporting Complex a couple of weeks ago. I hope everything work out. What? Rebuke, I'll pull up, Come on, Ebert. Me count you for one of my medalists, Ebert. Just give it one jump. One. Just see if I can pull off one. Please. Oh, no. Yep. Yes, so people, listen, want to remind you as we come to the end of the show. Yes, as we come to the end of the show today. Good 2 hours we spent. We have lots of things to do. Daphne, what time is the race? I think the race around an hour from now. I just had it right here. The finals, because you have the semifinals at 2:35, and the final is at, I think, 3:50. Yeah. 2:35 and 3:50. The 110 hurdles will be at 3:40, and the women's 100 meters final will be at 3:50. The semifinals for the women will be at 2:35. Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna have to start taking some of the races now, people. Support our young team. Please remember to hit the like button. Please let me see how many likes we have. Always good for you to support the channel by liking the video. Appreciate. I think we have 63. Hope we can get some more before the show closes. Also, it would be nice of you to share the content so we can get a few more subscribers. All right. For those of you who, a lot of you listen, you'd have supported the channel with super sticker, super chat. We don't have that feature right now. So in the meantime, it's not, all right, it's not a big deal. You can support the channel still by Zelle, right? So you can use Zelle to help the channel. And it's very, very easy. It's an easy platform to use to support the channel. And it's very easy. It takes under a minute to do it. There you go. You can do that if you want. No pressure, right? If you're not able to. Also, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace coming up at 2 today. So lots of sporting event coming up. So big up to AM Henry Daphne. Bless up yourself. Drew Ross, aka Drew Fortis. Bessa's documentary. Bless up yourself. You understand? All my viewers and subscribers. Baggio. Blessings, Christopher, hope all is well with your mom and thing. Always praying for her. Brownman Security, 33 good son. Richard Stewart. Peso, MPEC TV. Blessings, Warrior 777. Blessings as well to you, man. Big deal then. Triple E. You understand me? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Cataract give us a warm time, but Cataract is good. I'm gonna leave him to crank it to have this discussion. Man, Andre, where have you been? You haven't been. Andre 14, we haven't seen you around, Yeah. How Trinidad going? CPL raining out, Dima. Lots of rain. I didn't remember CPL going on. Rain. Messing up the CPL. I'm telling you. So lots of sporting stuff going on. Soon you'll be seeing me in an undisclosed location doing the show as usual. You know how it is. You understand me. But again, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and share the content of I Am Sure Sports. Again, I am Manning's Man. I want to thank you. We may be coming back. Later. So if we do, we will ensure that you have the notification checked so you can get notified when we are coming back. Again, it is when it gets to this point. Yeah. Easy thing that Sir Robinson, man. Sir Andre, you see it? Triple E said missing some good discussions, Like a penny concert and have to pay for Andre, The man, they are big artists. Sir Robinson, bless up to every time, every time. Big art, people. Dare to contend, dare to ask, dare to worship. Big former footballer, 3 books the man have written in a short time, By the grace of God, and to check them out. Dare to contend, dare to worship, and dare to ask. Yeah, understand me. Big books, you need to read them. Man, I tell you about them, you understand me? No joke. But I am Manning's Man. This has been I Am Sure Sports. And you know how it is when it gets to this point of the show. We say, we are over. We are O-U-T. Oh, there you go.
Watch about dog, SK New Erdis. The body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, you cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Orchard Race, Galtigo Bay. Everywhere. I Am Sure Sports. Check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like? Yeah, someone on for the food from we young, from we day, you need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.